Ladies and gentlemen, I just saw a blood-boiling comment that's made by the US ambassador, and I think it's important for all Singaporeans to be concerned about this comment. And let's watch on, shall we? So the headline of the article says the US helped with the Singapore miracle. Now it's calling in the favor, said Trump's new envoy. And the new ambassador to Singapore is basically saying that, hey, you guys are successful because we helped you. So now it's a time to return the favor. I thought that this remark is very blood boiling. I don't know how you feel, but let's critically look at the history and see whether that is true, and also look at the current affairs, especially our current numbers, and see whether this is true, right? So let's just watch on, shall we? So the question really is, number one, did US help with the Singapore miracle? And let's critically examine history and see whether this is a historical truth. And then we take a look at the current state of situation. So the ambassador claim is specifically the US have helped with Singapore miracle. We are now calling in the favor, and that statement was made during an interview with the Straits Times. And he has basically used that as a justification for the 10% baseline tariff on Singapore. And it suggests that Singapore has basically have a receive a one-sided benefit from US that we should pay back. I don't know how you all feel when you read these kind of sentences that were made by a prominent person. So first, we have to examine whether this is true historically, and now, now is it true, that we still owe you this favor? So part one, let's analyze right now historically. Did US help to build the Singapore miracle? Well, the truth is, Singapore did benefit tremendously from US, and the total foreign direct investment from US historically has been very high. And that has been the case since post-independence. And they have actually contributed quite a lot to our country. And there was a lot of companies from US that set up branches and manufacturing hubs in Singapore. And there was a lot of technology transfer, and they hired a lot of Singaporeans. In fact, I think over 200,000 Singaporeans work in US companies today. I suspect the number might even be more. And there was certainly also a huge US naval military presence in Singapore that helps to stabilize the region as well. But I just need to say, you contributed because, we brought you value, not because it's charity. So the truth is, US picked us because we were their best choice of partners in this region. We have a very sound, world-class governance structure. Our anti-corruption environment was very good. Our workforce is highly educated in English. Everybody speaks English right now, to the point that I think everybody's non-English capability has gone down tremendously, and so on, right? But we do have a full diversification of FDIs, foreign direct investments from the rest of the world: China, Japan, UK, Europe, ASEAN, and so. And our rule of law is very good for IP protection and things like that. So I don't need to share everybody how our forefathers have built the country, but certainly this is not donated success from US. So stop claiming all the credit. So I think it was never a one-sided uplift. Both sides benefited. The US, they had access to a safe, rule-based Asian hub. After they lost the Philippines base, we were the critical partner of choice for a military hub as well. So, and clearly we are a very nice place for them for the naval to stay put towards the South China Sea and also to Malacca Straits. And in a nutshell, the US companies benefited massively from the Singapore investment and relationship. So I think they make a hell of money from us as well as we also benefited from it. So let's not be blind that they do benefit. Their presence here do benefit us as well. It provides a lot of security to the region, and we're happy about it. They transfer a lot of technology, and they are really the leading. They are really the leading economy and educational hub in the world as well, and innovation. And we would like to continue this kind of a win-win relationship. So much about the history. Clearly, there was a part where their presence in Singapore helped us a lot, but that was out of strategic need from them as well, right? So that's not charity, right? You did not. This is not charity, so let's not think too far and too extreme. But you're calling in the favor. No, no, what exactly? What the hell do you what exactly want, right? Well, the truth is, Singapore is already giving you favors, right? Huge favors. Such a small, tiny country like Singapore is already running trade surplus for you. So the US runs a strong trade surplus with Singapore. In terms of goods trade surplus, it's in a tune of 1.9 billion US dollars. And that's a very big number for we are one of the very few countries in the world that you are even enjoying a trade surplus with. That means we spend on you more than you spend on us. But when you now encapsulate services, right? Trade balance services. Whoa, man, you're making $27 billion out of Singapore. Now, maybe $27 billion to the US is a small amount, but to Singapore, a very tiny country, $27 billion is a hell of money, right? So let's just call a spade a spade. You are benefiting favors from us monetarily already. Look what I see me, right? So what else do you want? So I don't know what other favors are we still outstandingly owe you guys. Okay, so you're making billions of dollars from us already. So 恭喜 me. So you already done that. On top of that, you impose a 10% universal tariff, despite the fact that we never have any trade deficit. You don't suffer any trade deficit with us, and you frame it as rebalancing. Rebalancing from what? Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Obviously, this ambassador doesn't understand economics. Well, so basically, the ambassador comments lack a few ignorance. Number one, the historical ignorance of how we benefited each other, and also, right now, how does it benefit? How does the current relationship benefit each other? I think he should actually look at the numbers. But I think it's probably extrapolated too far to say that you're calling the favors because you have enjoyed yeah you know what I mean. So the truth is actually both need each other. It is true, as small country, we definitely need you more than you need us. So let's not be blind to that. And we would like to continue a relationship. And I think there is a lot of mutual benefit from this relationship, mutual partnership. There is mutual gain, mutual value creation. But I don't want people to think about this that we have actually received charity. And I wish that the ambassador able to see from the point of history that it wasn't charity that was provided to Singapore. So in closing, I think Singapore truly value the US relationship, and we appreciate the decades of cooperation since independence. But I think we have to call a spade a spade. Singapore Miracle was not donated, was not given charitably by US. It was earned through mutual trust, mutual value relationship, and US benefited tremendously from it as well as we do. So let's just call this. If you are calling in a favor, we are a small country. We don't have much of a choice. But first, acknowledge that Singapore has ongoing contribution to you. Okay, and then we can start from there. On a factual, from a transparent kind of relationship. To all Singaporeans, I think this note has certain serious implication. It basically shows how vulnerable Singapore is. That large country can easily step on us, right? This not just involve US, but I think recently there's some tension potential in China. Let's stop thinking that we are one prosperous, stable, well-run country and things like that. Is true, but this kind is this prosperity camouflages the fragile nature of our country. So our historical success doesn't ensures our future prosperity and future risk. Is something that we must see. Therefore, our Singapore Armed Forces is a must. Okay, I think we are people like myself and maybe quite a lot of you are past the age where we can contribute to Singapore's armed forces. But I think this is a time where we encourage our children to do their national service really well and take it seriously. I think diplomacy is extremely important. We must put our support behind our leaders in their execution of their diplomacy. And of course, our financial reserves, is extremely important. We don't know when we need to call on it, but at least we know that when we need to call on it, it's there. And for all of us, putting our eggs all in one basket in terms of investment is very dangerous. That's why I always say diversify, diversify, diversify. Right? Diversify, not just all into Singapore. A lot of people do that. Things can change suddenly and very terribly. So I think it's important for us to think about this. Well, let me know your view towards the ambassador comment and how do you feel, as a Singaporean? And we're happy to hear your comments. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the live stream. Bye bye.